Close your eyes for a second. You're standing on a used car lot. It's an afternoon. The salesperson hasn't noticed you yet, and sitting in the very back row, dusty, marked down twice, completely ignored, are 3 luxury SUVs that have never broken down. That's literally the only reason they're there. Their owners drove them for 10 years, got bored, bought something new, and handed them off at auction for less than they're worth. Meanwhile, up front, a row of German SUVs, clean, freshly detailed, sitting under the lights with asking prices, that quietly include a repair bill the previous owner decided was someone else's problem. The back row is where the actual money is in 2026. Today, I'm going to walk you through all 3 of them. What's under the hood, what the interior is actually like to live with, what to check before you hand over your money, and why each one of these is sitting underpriced right now for a reason that has nothing to do with reliability. Stay through, all 3, because number 1 is the SUV I would put my own money into before almost anything else at this price point right now. Welcome back to Arisha Auto Radar. I dig into the used car market so you don't have to. And before we jump in, I want to ask you something simple. Which one of these 3 SUVs do you already know? The Acura RDX, the Lexus GX 460, or the Lexus RX 350? Drop the one you've heard of in the comments right now. And if you've actually owned one, I want to hear, so please let me know. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Let's get into it. Number 3, Acura RDX, 2013. To 2018, number 3 is a vehicle with one specific problem, and that problem has nothing to do with the car itself. Acura's marketing. Say Acura RDX to most used car shoppers, and you get a blank stare. Maybe a vague sense that it's just a dressed-up Honda with a fancier badge. The brand doesn't fight for attention the way its competitors do. It doesn't run ads that make people emotional. It doesn't have a fan base that argues about it online, and for a buyer who knows what's actually underneath, that silence is working entirely in your favor. The second-generation RDX runs a 3.5-liter V6, the same engine family Honda put in the Pilot, the Odyssey, and the Passport. Naturally aspirated, no turbocharger, no boost pressure system quietly building toward a problem at 90,000 miles. Just a straightforward, proven V6 that Honda has been refining since the late 1990s. It's paired to a 6-speed traditional automatic transmission. Not a CVT, not a dual clutch. A real torque converter unit that shifts smoothly and has a long documented service life when the fluid is kept current. One thing to know before you go shopping. The V6 on this generation uses a timing belt, not a timing chain. That is a scheduled maintenance item. Not a flaw, not a design problem, just a service interval that needs to happen around 90,000 miles. Confirm it's been done on any car you're considering. If it hasn't, that's your first negotiating point and a few $100s off the asking price before you agree to anything. Step inside, and the RDX makes an immediate impression that its price tag doesn't prepare you for. The cabin is genuinely well finished. Leather seating, dual-zone climate control, a quiet highway ride, and visibility in every direction that doesn't require you to crane your neck around thick pillars. The door openings are wide. The seat height lands in a natural middle ground. Not so high it feels like climbing into a truck, not so low that getting in and out becomes an event. This is a car that disappears around you in the best possible way. You get in, you drive, you arrive, no drama, no noise, no moment where the car reminds you it exists. That's exactly what it was built to do, and it does it without asking for much in return. A 2016 RDX with under 80,000 miles is sitting at roughly $13,000 to $17,000 in today's market. Full leather, AWD, heated seats, the complete package at that number. What to check before you buy? Confirm timing belt service history first. If records don't exist, assume it hasn't been done and negotiate accordingly. Start the engine. Cold and stand there for 2 full minutes. A healthy engine starts cleanly and stays that way. Any ticking that doesn't fully clear after warm-up points to oil maintenance history you don't want to inherit. Walk away. On AWD models, ask specifically about rear differential fluid. It's a 30,000-mile service item that most owners skip entirely. Easy and inexpensive to address, but factor it into your offer before you agree to the asking price. If the car has the power tailgate, cycle it 3 or 4 times. The motor can get sluggish with age and heavy use. Minor repair, but worth knowing before you sign anything. The RDX is the entry point on this list. Solid, underpriced, and completely overlooked by a market that judges books by their covers. But the next one is the SUV that mechanics quietly try to buy for themselves whenever one shows up at auction. Number 2. Lexus GX 460. 2010. To 2019, number 2 is an SUV that doesn't make sense on paper until you understand what Toyota actually built it for. The GX 460 was never designed purely for American suburbs and school pickup lines. Toyota engineered this platform for international markets, places where a breakdown isn't an inconvenience. It's a genuine emergency, and the nearest dealership might be several hundred miles away. That design philosophy didn't stop at the marketing brief. It's in every component under this truck. Under the hood is a 4.6-liter V8, naturally aspirated. No turbocharger, timing chain, an engine built to be serviced with basic tools, to run reliably in extreme conditions, and to keep going long after more complicated powertrains have started developing expensive opinions about their own maintenance. Schedules. The transfer case runs full-time 4-wheel drive with a torsion center differential. What that means in everyday driving is simple. You never touch a button. Rain, snow, gravel, mud. The system reads the surface and adjusts without you doing anything. For anyone who doesn't want to think about drive modes and terrain settings, that simplicity is genuinely valuable. Step inside and the GX makes its priorities immediately clear. This is not a sporty SUV. It is not trying to impress you with aggressive styling or a cockpit full of screens. What it gives you instead is a wide, quiet, well-finished cabin that feels like it was built to last, because it was, heated and ventilated seats. Substantial power adjustment. A steering wheel that telescopes enough to fit drivers of nearly any height comfortably. A ride that absorbs rough roads the way a well-made piece of furniture absorbs weight, not by fighting it, but by simply not caring. The step-in height is taller than a crossover, but every GX comes with a running board built in, and the door opening is enormous. Getting in and out is straightforward. Once you're seated, the driving position is natural and commanding without feeling like you're piloting something oversized. Tow up to 6,500 pounds. Seat 7 passengers. Park it on any surface in any weather condition. The GX 460 doesn't ask much of you. It just keeps showing up. A 2014 to 2016 GX 460 with under 100,000 miles runs. $24,000 to $30,000 in today's market. What to check before you buy. The GX has rear air suspension. Before you do anything else, park it on flat ground and look at all 4 corners. It should be sitting perfectly level. Airbags can develop slow leaks at higher mileage. It's a manageable repair, but verify the system is functioning before you commit. The rear door is side-swinging rather than a lift gate. Open and close it fully. Check the hinges for any sagging or resistance. A worn hinge is a straightforward fix, but it's your negotiating point if you find it. Get underneath and look for lift kits or aftermarket suspension modifications. The GX was engineered for off-road use, and some previous owners used it that way. That's not automatically a problem, but additional wear on the suspension components is worth knowing about before you agree to a price. Cold start is your day. Final test. Start the engine and listen. A healthy V8 fires quietly and stays that way. Any ticking that persists beyond 2 minutes of warm-up is the only thing on this truck worth walking away from. The GX 460 is the vehicle for anyone who wants something that will still be running in 15 years on basic maintenance. It is a proper truck underneath luxury sheet metal, and the used market in 2026 has still not fully priced that in. But number one is the vehicle I have recommended more consistently than anything else over the years, and the data behind it is unlike anything else at this price point. Number 1. Lexus RX 350, 2010 to 2015 number 1. And I'll be honest with you up front, this is not a surprising pick. It's number 1 because the data behind it has been pointing in the same direction for over a decade, and nothing at this price point has come close to changing that. The third-generation Lexus RX 350 is the used luxury SUV I recommend when someone tells me they want one vehicle. They want to own it for 10 years, and they want to stop thinking about it entirely. The 2GRFE, a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6. Timing chain, no turbocharger. It is one of the most widely used V6 engines in automotive history, and its long-term reliability record is documented across millions of vehicles on the road right now. Well-maintained examples regularly go past 250,000 miles on the original internals. That is not a claim. It is what the ownership data shows consistently across every platform this engine has ever been put into. Naturally aspirated, timing chain, proven across millions of vehicles over 20 years. That is the powertrain in one sentence. This is where the RX 350 separates itself from everything else on this list, and from most of what's available at this price point in 2026. The seat height sits at 21 inches. Lexus calls it chair height seating, and the description is accurate. You do not climb up into this SUV. You do not drop down into it. You sit. The door sills are low, the floor is flat, and the doors open wide. Getting in and out takes no effort, and that is not a small thing if you're buying a vehicle you plan to use every single day for the next decade. The cabin is exceptionally quiet. At highway speeds, you can hold a full conversation without raising your voice. The steering wheel tilts and telescopes. The mirrors are large. Visibility is excellent in every direction because this generation was designed before rising belt lines. Became the industry standard, which means smaller blind spots than almost any comparable SUV available at this price today. The ride is tuned entirely for comfort. This SUV absorbs potholes and rough pavement in a way that most European competitors at the same price simply do not. It does not fight the road. It does not transfer the road into your spine. It glides, and it does that every single day, for as long as you own it, without asking for anything unusual in return. A 2013 to 2015 RX 350 with under 90,000 miles is sitting at $17,000 to $22,000 in today's market. That last number is the one that matters most. The Lexus RX 350 is measurably less likely to hit you with a large, unexpected repair bill than nearly any other in its segment. What to check before you buy? Some 2010 to 2013 models in hot climates developed dashboard cracking. Toyota addressed this under an extended warranty, and most affected vehicles have already been corrected. But verify before you buy. Listen for any whining from the power steering at low speed or during tight turns. The electric assist motor can show wear at higher mileage. If you hear it, that's your negotiating point. Check the rear hatch struts. They tend to weaken around 100,000 miles, and the hatch begins dropping slowly on its own. Inexpensive to fix, but worth confirming before you close the deal. Look for single-owner examples with clean interior wear. The driver's seat bolster tells you exactly how this vehicle was used. Light wear on the bolster means light use overall. That's the one to buy. Who is this for? Anyone who wants one reliable luxury SUV and wants to stop thinking about it. Anyone who values a quiet cabin and a smooth ride over sporty handling. Anyone running the numbers on long-term ownership costs and wants those numbers to work in their favor for the next 10 years. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these three are you actually considering? And what are you driving right now? Drop your car name in the comments. I read every single one, and I respond. If this video was useful, hit the like button and subscribe. See you in the next one.